welcome. You're watching Property Hotline. I'm Faye D'Souza standing in for Kavita Krishnan. This is India's first property channel, Magicbricks Now. Thank you for tuning in. Before we go any further, I'm going to put up on our screen all of our contact details, so you can either pick up the phone or you can send us, a message, or you can reach us on our website, www.mbnow.in, and leave us a question if you'd like to ask us a question about buying property. Today, we're focusing on choosing a location that you might want to pick when you buy property, and the entire process that goes through, finding a location, finding the builder, deciding whether or not you should be buying or selling at this point. To answer your questions on the show, Ashwinder Raj Singh, CEO, Residential Services at JLL, joins us from Gurgaon. Ashwinder, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for making time out for the viewers of Magicbricks. Of course, it's an interesting market as we go into the new year. Are there certain pockets of certain cities that you're bullish on? Because we haven't had a great year so far. Going forward, do you think that 2016 might be different from 2015?
See, I think in a quarter or so, you might start seeing certain green shoots coming in from the fundamental steps that have been taken in 2015, like the FDI law which has come in. Okay. Then you have the real estate regulation kind of knocking on the doors. We've seen 0.5% reduction in interest rates. Now, these are fundamental changes, and it's already been 5 to 6 months for certain things to already been announced. So I see these things will have an impact, maybe in the second quarter, third quarter, but surely they have to have an impact.
All right. Now, for those of our viewers who are watching at home right now, Ashwinder is going to be live on the show, and we have a phone line that's open. That's the quickest way to get in touch with us. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call us, and we'll try and help you in any way we can. And I'm told right now we have Rishi on the phone line already. Rishi, thanks for calling. Tell us how we can help you.
Yeah, hi. Basically, I have two questions, and I won't take much time.
Okay, go ahead.
First question is that I have around 27 lakh rupees right now.
All right.
And I want to invest this in anywhere in India. Okay. But the only thing is that I need to exit within 2 years. So which is the place that I could invest and I could get the maximum return out of it?
If you could tell me why the hard exit of 2 years, because 2 years is not a very long time in the real estate world.
Exactly. The thing is that I've just sold some property and I don't want to. I have to utilize that money for another personal reason. Okay. But I can wait till 2 years. Okay. So 2 years is all I have.
All right. So basically, you want to reinvest the proceeds so you can avoid long-term capital gains tax, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, exactly.
There is another option. There are bonds that you can use without having to worry so much about that exit. But Ashwinder, is there a possibility anywhere across the country where Rishi can pick up residential property and sell it in 2 years at a profit?
So you're right, 2 years is a less time, but the only silver lining here is that the budget he's looking at is 27 lakhs, which is an affordable budget, and at times, you still have a chance of liquidating it in a span of 2 to 3 years. I find, amongst all the cities, Pune to be a better option for Rishi to go ahead and, invest, because Pune is a high momentum market, the overhangs are, comparatively better. And there are locations in Pune like Undri, Wagoli, Dhanori, Ravet, where he can get some good projects in the range of 27, 28 lakhs. And also a reasonable return of 8 to 10%. We have seen a track record of these returns in the past as well.
Ashwinder, very quick question on Rishi's behalf. If he's looking at a 2-year exit in Pune, should he be looking at under construction or ready to occupy?
I would really, kind of suggest him to look at something which he will get in a year's time. The structure should be ready. He can get a year and a half, and he should be, have a buffer of 6 months or a year. Because if they say a year, even if it doesn't take a year, it'll take 2 years, and he'll get it. Look at a developer which has a track record, but definitely a project which is under construction but nearing completion.
All right, Rishi, we hope that helps. Pune, lucky you, you live in Pune. Pune is a good option for you. Ashwinder gave you a couple of locations that you could look at that could fit into your budget. Go as close to ready to occupy as possible to sort of take away all the risk of delays, because you only have 2 years. You don't want to be stuck in a situation where you've put money into a project that's not complete. So either ready to occupy or 6 months away or a year away from occupation is what Ashwinder recommends for you. If you need more help, of course, you can get in touch with us. Our next question comes in from Rachna, who writes in from Mumbai. She sent us a question on email. Ashwinder, she tells us she wants to invest 25 to 30 lakh rupees in residential or commercial property, and she wants to know how much appreciation she can expect. She's considering Badlapur as a location. Now, Badlapur has become really popular of late in terms of a pure investment option. Tell us how long it's going to be before investors like Rachna see some sort of a return from Badlapur, and if you recommend it for someone with a 30 lakh rupee budget.
So Badlapur, Ambernath, to be honest, is a good choice in this budget. And you're right, it's been kind of coming up. We see a lot of activities in this region. And, we've been tracking this, and, you'll be surprised there are some good returns, because people are moving to places where they can own a house and own it within their given budgets. And these places are also a little less congested compared to the other, locations in Mumbai. Mumbaikars are resilient people. They generally don't have a problem much to travel, but if they get a better place to stay where they can breathe properly, which is a big issue in larger cities in India. So these both locations have some good opportunities where they can invest, and both Badlapur and Ambernath would be a good choice. And in terms of returns, she can again expect a ballpark 8 to 12% annually over a period of 4 to 5 years.
Are you recommending residential or commercial property? Because she tells us she's open to both options.
I am recommending a residential. She can look at, Ahuja Prasadam at Ambernath and Godrej Viha at Badlapur.
Right, Ahuja Prasadam.
Because it will take time for the commercial activities to kind of, pick up.
All right, so Ahuja and Godrej are the two options we're giving you. Rachna, if you need any more help, you know how to get in touch with us. In fact, I'm going to put that on our screen one more time, our contact details. If anybody watching at home would like to get in touch, our details will pop up on your screen in a second. We, I understand, have another viewer on the phone line. Rajveer is on the phone line right now. Rajveer, good evening. Tell us what your question is.
Hi, thank you for taking my call again. So I have two small questions. My first question is that I have a 350 square yard residential property in South Delhi Green Park. It's a plot. So the last time when I interacted with Ashwinder, he told me to hold on this property for 4 years to get a good returns. So what I missed on was that the 20% what he was referring to was a cumulative for 4 years or on a per annum basis.
Okay.
That is my first question. Second is that if after 4 years I intend to monetize this asset, what would be the better option, to sell it to HNI or to a builder?
All right, that's an interesting question. Ashwinder, so you've obviously given this viewer advice once before. Rajveer Singh has called back because you told him 20%. Is that per annum over 4 years, or is that, 20% over the course of 4 years? 20% every year over 4 years sounds like quite a good deal. Is that even possible in this market?
No, I meant a cumulative return, over a period of 4 or 5 years. I wish it could have been 20% per annum. That's not the case. There was a time when South Delhi was seeing these kind of returns maybe 15, 20 years back or 10 years back, around 10 to 15%. But 20% over a period of 5 years, 4 years is what I gave the advice.
All right, he also wants to know...
And to the other point...
Yeah. So Rajveer also wants to know this, Ashwinder, if he does decide to sell after 4 years, and HNI is a better option, or should he be looking at selling to a builder? And in a market like this, do you expect, see, right now it's very challenging to enter the market as a seller because it's very difficult to offload something, especially in the NCR region. Do you expect that to change by the time Rajveer is ready to make his sale?
I think it should change in the next 2 to 3 years because, considering the location of the property and the multiple ways the property can be utilized, and there are many people who still want to move to South Delhi. It is closer to Gurgaon, where all the jobs are. It is not very far away from Noida. It's like a center point. So South Delhi will never lose its charm, and there are lots and lots of people who keep on looking at it and are looking at deals which they can get. To consider an HNI or a developer, to be honest, if I'm a seller and if it is a bona fide party and I know it is a good developer, has a track record, about their credentials, or even if it is an HNI, it really doesn't matter. What matters is when you're doing the deal, you need to carefully look at your agreement to sell, get it vetted by a lawyer, be very clear in terms of payment terms, in terms of the first initial payment that you're taking, take at least 20% of that total payment so that you are safeguarded, and then go ahead and do it.
All right. So go ahead and do it, Rajveer, and if you need any more help through that process, we're right here on Magicbricks Now to help you with any question you might want. In fact, Ashwinder, Sahil sends us this question, an email. He wants to buy a home in Noida. He says he has a budget of 75 lakh rupees. What sector do you suggest? That's a tough budget for Noida. Are there any options in Noida right now at that budget of 75 lakh rupees?
Yeah, surprisingly, he will get some good options in Noida, considering his 75 lakh budget. If you look at Expressway, you will have certain places where you can get it. You can get apartments between 3,500 to 4,500. There are sectors like 128, 137, 144, 150. There are some good developers coming up with good apartments. He can even get, 2.5 to 3 BHK there. And if he comes down to central Noida, which is like sectors 70 to 79, 112 to 123, he might not get a 3 BHK, but he will surely get a 2 BHK. So both these locations are good, and considering on where he wants to be and looking at the supply that Noida has, he will have options to kind of weigh from.
Also tell me this, if he's considering Noida at this point, at this budget, might there be better options in the second sale market? So instead of going directly to a builder and buying from the builder, if he can actually speak to local brokers, find out what's available in second sale, he might actually get a better deal.
Yeah, so the only thing for here is that you might get a deal, but when you do a second sale, you have to pay up everything up front. So if it is actually a ready to move in and he is going to immediately shift, he should look at second sale, because then the arbitrage that he gets is better and he moves into his property. But if he's not going to move immediately, then if you go to the builder, your cash flows are better stacked up and you don't pay up everything upfront. So that's where the whole thing is.
All right. The other thing is, of course, there are some markets across the country. We know that Pune is one such market. Bangalore tends to be a market where there's a massive difference, Ashwinder, between what's being bought from the builder, which is a new apartment, and a second sale apartment. We know in Pune that difference goes up to 30-40% sometimes. What's the difference right now in Noida between first buy directly from the builder and the same size bought in the second sale market?
It's a great point. In fact, not just in Pune, I would say that entire, Gurgaon and Noida both, there is a difference between the first buy and the second buy. Now, it depends on the, at times it is a very customized thing, and it depends on a particular seller, how desperate the seller is and why does he need the funds. And that is where the prices are broken by 35-40%. But on an average in Noida, considering, the budgets are not very high, you generally see a 20% difference between the resale and the first buy.
20% difference. Consider the second sale market if you want to occupy right now. Otherwise, there are options that Ashwinder has already given you. I believe Deepak has called us from Ghaziabad. Deepak, tell us what your question is. How can we help you?
Yeah, hello.
Hi. Go ahead.
Actually, I have some query regarding Omax Connaught Place Mall in Greater Noida.
Okay.
Is it safe to invest there in commercial shops in Omax Connaught Place, Noida, Greater Noida?
So you're looking at buying a commercial shop and then renting it out? Is that your plan?
Yes.
Okay. And what is your holding period on this investment?
I can go for a longer period, like 15 to 20 years.
Okay. Ashwinder, I know you look after residential property, but this is a very interesting question. Omax Connaught Place, Greater Noida. Does it make sense for a retail investor to buy, a shop and rent it out? Is that something you'd recommend?
Yeah, I'll give him a more generic answer because I would not have any research handy with me to kind of answer this specific query. But considering Omax is a known name and they have had many malls, they have 3, 4 malls. They have 3 malls, in fact, just on the Sona Road in Gurgaon, and they are an important player in the NCR vicinity. So it depends what kind of returns he's expecting. Why is he only looking at a mall and a shop? Can he also look at an office space? There are a lot of commercial office spaces that you can buy within that range, and at times, if it is near a high commercial activity area, offices tend to give you a better return. So finally, it depends as to, is it only for a rental yield? And yes, if it is for a rental yield, he can definitely look at a mall. But malls become at times risky because if they don't run, then for a longer period, you just don't see much of an activity happening in malls. Generally, when you are looking at a commercial building where you have office spaces and you can buy those smaller spaces, the risk is a little less. So that's the only thing he needs to, kind of look at. But, Ghaziabad, Omax Mall, makes sense because, that is a high propensity area, high density area, and the commercial activities, most of the malls open there have been, kind of doing overall, if not, surpassing their targets, but doing okay.
All right. So Deepak, it's 2 thumbs up there from Ashwinder. Go ahead. Omax Connaught Place seems like a good deal, but there might be other options as well for you in that market. It depends on what you're looking for. In fact, we have a viewer on the phone line right now. Go ahead. Tell us your question.
Yeah, hi, good evening. This
Good
is
evening.
Bhavesh. I have a query regarding the my NA plot. I have brought a bungalow plot, Panvel near Palaspa Fata.
Okay.
The landmark would be it is very near to the MET Business School.
Mm.
And I brought this in 2007.
Right.
At that time, there was a high rumor about the sport and all that. And I brought it at a little bit on a higher side. And I'm holding almost for last 7 years. I just wanted to know what is the future of this project and whether I should keep it and what you foresee like over the period of next 3-4 years when the airport is coming up. What would be the future of this? Can you
Bhavesh,
guide me?
if you can tell me very quickly, this plot that you've bought,
Yeah.
what did you, spend on it to begin with, and what sort of offers are you getting from the market right now?
See, at present, that time it was a high time. So I bought it at 400 rupees square feet.
Sure.
It is a 3,000 square feet NA plot, one FSI. And at presently, since it's a open plot, there is no market available like.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Ashwinder, the airport used to be a rumor. It's not a rumor anymore. It's got most of its clearances, although it might be a while before we see an actual physical airport operational out of Panvel. But for the sake of Bhavesh, who's bought that plot of land, he's been holding on for 7 years, what sort of prospects do you think that investment will have going forward?
So, considering Bhavesh bought this place with a very futuristic, approach, and when you look at real estate investment and you have allocated some part of your money as long-term money, I don't think Bhavesh did a wrong thing. He's invested in the right place. The airport is soon going to be a reality. Earlier, there were certain confusions around it. It is a good location to have. A lot of developers have been moving to that location. Now that he's already invested and he's been there for 7 years, I suggest he should hold on. He will definitely reap benefits over a period of 4 to 5 years, and definitely at that point in time not regret. And I want to really reinforce this point that when you are actually making a real estate investment, which is a just pure play investment, the time horizon should be anything between 5 to 7 years. This time it's gone a little beyond 5 to 7 years and maybe 10 odd years. But considering that time frame, generally that's when you really reap your good return on investments. So he should hold on for 3-4 years and he will see some good appreciation.
But Ashwinder, see, here's the truth about infrastructure especially in Mumbai. When the infrastructure is announced, it gets priced into the market already, which means that as soon as the airport was announced, like Bhavesh is telling us, he already paid a high price because there was an airport in the works. The next bump up we'll actually see, the next actual reaction we'll see in prices is when the airport comes up and opens. which is going to be a while from now. So what do we expect to happen in Panvel in the next 2 or 3 years, like you're telling him? What will cause that change that you're saying, that you're predicting?
See, the most important change in real estate, and you would agree, is the sentiment.
Okay.
You know, to be honest, what has gone wrong in the last 2 years? Nothing has gone wrong. There's no liquidity. It is not a 2008 crisis that there was a huge liquidity issue and, developers were trying to cut margins and sell, etc., etc. People were losing jobs. Nothing has happened in 2015. You've only heard positive news. You might not have seen much of action, but the news around has been positive, but the sentiments have been, low. So what happens generally in real estate is, it is not that something really fundamental will change and suddenly the airport comes, and definitely when the airport comes, a lot of employment generation will happen, a lot of other related industry institutions will come up around it, logistics will get set up, and the action gets going. But just by the announcement, there is a pep up, you have positivity, the sentiment comes up, and next 2-3 years you start seeing activity. Some people will start buying who were not buying earlier, some people will start selling and liquidate and have cash flow with them, and that's how the virtuous cycle begins.
All right, so hold on to that plot of land in Panvel. That's probably the best thing you can do right now. It's also not a great market to get in as a seller if you're holding on to an investment. It makes sense to hold on for a little while longer. Sunil Kumar has called us from Bangalore. He has a question for us. Sunil, go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, hi. So I'm looking at OBHK, and I'm having a confusion of whether I should go for under construction or ready to occupy.
Okay.
And also my preferred location is in Marathal. And when I researched it, I got a question that there are few builders are quoting for less price, and there are few builders are quoting for more price. And recorded builders, as we know, that they're charging more. So how to take a decision a bit further on buying a flat in the Marathali?
That's a great question, Sunil. Thank you for calling us. Ashwinder, this is a question I know a lot of viewers are struggling with. First of all, should we buy under construction right now? Should we buy ready to occupy to remove that risk of any possible delay? Next question, obviously at this point, reputed builders who are managing sales are charging more. Does it make sense to pay that extra 15, 20, in some cases 25% for the reputation of the builder?
See, finally it all boils down to that, pricing is a function of risk. And what has happened is, when the risk goes down, you pay a higher price. So the builder today is reputed. Any builder who's been delivering on timelines is reputed. Any builder who's not been delivering on timelines is not reputed. It's no more the name. Just because the name is big, the builder becomes reputed. There are many small builders who've been, giving deliveries, and they have gained reputation in the last 1 year. So for me, what is more important is that if you are going to use it for your end use, it is important to go with a reputed builder, because what it does is the quality of construction is assured, and your delivery timelines are also assured. Sometimes if you know the builder personally or through some neighborhood, he might not be reputed, but you know the credentials, and that's a personal choice you need to do from your due diligence. You can take a call, but then you are taking a risk on the due diligence, because you are then doing the research and figuring out that this might not be a reputed builder today, but he might become a reputed builder tomorrow, but he might,
I'm going to interrupt you very quickly, because I can see where his problem arises, and I'm looking at listings on our partner's website, which is Magicbricks' website. The reputed builders, if we take, for example, a branded name like, say, Purvankara, is selling a 3-bedroom at 1.2 crore rupees in Purva Fountain or Purva Riviera. There are other builders who are not as well known, who are selling for 63 lakh rupees. That's a massive, it's not just it's a higher margin, it's double. Should he be willing to pay double at this point?
So also it depends what kind of amenities are they offering, and how well they are located, and at times it also depends on, they might be nearing construction, they might be nearing delivery, and that's where they start charging a premium. But yes, this is a huge difference. But again, the thing is that if you are getting into a non-reputed builder with half a price, and there's nothing happening on the ground, you're actually not sure what is going to happen to the money that you're investing.
All right, okay, I'm being told it's time to wrap up this show right now, but remember, we're on this channel live all the time. You can pick up the phone and call us whenever you want to. Ashwinder, it's been such a pleasure to chat with you. Thank you for taking the time out to answer questions from our viewers this evening. If you have a question, you know how to get in touch right here on Magic Bricks Now. Stay with us.